All right. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the mentoring session today. I hope you've been following up on all of the sessions we've had, and this session promises to be also an exciting and an informative one. Please, just to lay the ground rules, if you are not able to hear me or if you cannot see my screen at any point during the session, just indicate by making it known. I have enabled microphone for everyone, but I would just like to lay some ground rules that if you are not talking, you can just keep yourself muted so that there is less distraction within the class. Um, if you have any question, just raise your hands. From time to time, I will check the guest session to be sure that if there are any raised, then I'm able to pick that up as we go through the class. So we have another 1 hour of today for this session, and we'll be looking at the topic uh, Notebook LM. We'll be discussing Notebook LM 2 weeks now, two sessions now, and looking at how Notebook LM is integrated into the classroom. So this is part two. Over the past two weeks also, I've been doing some bit-sized videos, which is called Learn One Thing Per Day, and we've still been focused on Notebook LM. So you can always find those on our on TTC YouTube channel. Sorry, on TTC. No, strange. You can always find that on TTC YouTube channel, and you have access to all of the materials that we've prepared as it relates to learn one thing per day. So let me just quickly go to that YouTube and you can find it. I will also be sharing. I'll also be sharing the links in the group. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you will see learn one thing per day. So we've gone. I think we've done about 6 sessions. Then the highest of among. Okay, there are 8 videos actually. If you go to the playlist, let me just review the playlist. So it takes it one by one from getting started, preparing sources, adding sources, bulk adding multiple URL sources, prompting your sources. And then we looked at creating mind map, which is where we stopped during the last session of this mentoring session. And but on the learn one thing per day, we've gone beyond that to creating audio. So this week again, we'll complete every other function and features within Google Notebook LM. As with Google, a lot of features are being released on on a daily basis, and almost weekly basis, improvements and all of that. And most especially integrating their AI tool to Google Classroom so that AI tools are very available within the Google Classroom. I would like us to show that before we proceed. Um, Now they've done it such that if you have the correct Google license, especially the educator license, not the general one, you'll be able to um, see a lot of integration when it comes to AI within Google Classroom. So, for example, you have Gemini. Um, just this week, they released that you can create audio lessons. So you'll be able to do almost everything you're doing on ChatGPT within Google Classroom without going out. Lesson planning, visual aids, instructional materials, assessments, support student, administrative tasks. So you'll be able to do a lot of that. Then you'll be able to see crafting compelling hook, build choice board, which is something very useful. You can generate quiz, write a story, translate text. Then you have this audio lesson plan. So you can give it your materials and it will create an audio overview, which is one of the things that we do within NotebookLM. But more than this, also within your class, for example, when you want to create an assignment within Google Classroom, you will see that there is you can integrate a notebook LM into your classroom, into an assignment, or even into a learning material. Maybe you want to create a a material for your class where you put all the course material. You can actually put a notebook LM. You could actually use Gem, which are things that we'll be looking at as the mentoring session goes by. So um, it is quite useful to know that Google is really taking this and making it available for educators. So just to provide a summary of what we did the last class before we go into today's class. Last class we saw how you could set up an account, which you can also check with learning one thing per day, just short videos, set up account. You can add your sources, and we looked at how to add sources. So you can click on add sources here, uh, and we looked at the fact that you could upload sources. You could upload sources directly from your computer. You could have website, YouTube, and all of that. Copied and paste the link here. I think in one of the sessions of Learn One Thing per Day, I looked at how you can add multiple links using add-on. You should check that video out. So let's say you're preparing your sources. You've already opened all your sources. Instead of copying the URL one by one, you can use a plugin to pull the URL all into this place, and that will speeding up your work. We also looked at you could upload sources directly from your Google Drive by signing in and just getting into your Google Drive. Let me sign this in. So you'll be able to pick documents directly from within your Google Drive if you have all of those documents there. We also looked at the last, which is copied text. So if you have a section of a website or you have a text or a section of a book online, you can copy and paste it. That becomes your text. We said you have access to 50 sources that you can add, and everything you do within Notebook LM is limited to your sources. The second way you can get sources into Notebook LM is if you don't have sources already, but you want Notebook LM to go to the web to help you research. So you could do fast research or deep research. Deep research takes a longer time, fast research is quicker. So you could use another AI platform like Google Gemini to write the prompt. Say, let's say you are researching on metamorphosis. You could get Gemini to help you craft a prompt that you could put in, or you could just put in a prompt yourself and then run it. It would go online, do deep research, verify your sources, and then propose those sources to you. You can add them one by one, or after going through them, or you can automatically just add all of them, and then you have your sources in. We ended by saying one of the first things you can do uh, was to use mind map to plot or to see how all of your sources, how some or all of your sources are interconnected. It gives you that visual connection and flow of how your sources looks like. And we did one example with this. Let me just minimize this. We did one example with okay, I just clicked on mind map. You select some or all of your sources and you click on mind map. And this is an example of what we found. So metamorphosis is the topic. It has broken down all of our sources into three broad categories: arthropod exoskeleton, library context, and biological process. And the more you can drill down to see definitions, complete metamorphosis. And the beauty of this is when you click on any of the nodes, these are called nodes. If you click on any node, it will open the chat section for you to learn more about that specific node. So we discuss we discuss what these sources say about 88% of insects in large contexts of complete metamorphosis. So that's the initial prompt it gave, but you can continue chatting with it and everything you do within the context of this current chat will be limited to that node. So it will be referring just to that node to have that engagement with you. Another beauty of another interesting thing about the use cases of this is you could use this to do fill in the blanks for your student. So whereas metamorphosis is a very broader topic subject, but you can decide, okay, let's say I create a mind map about parts of a human being. And so I can print this out and blank, maybe export this as a PDF or as a PDF and put it into Canva and use something to blank this out, print it out, or maybe even send it as a digital workbook for students to work on. Metamorphosis, you blank this out and then student can do fill in the blanks for all of that. And that's some of the use cases that you are able to do with this. So that was where we stopped last week. Um, it is advisable when you're using NotebookLM that mind map can be used on all of your sources just to see how they are all mapped together. But you do not want to create an audio. You can also create an audio overview or a video overview with all of your sources. But that makes it very cumbersome because um, except if you are doing research. So, for example, I'm a teacher and I'm teaching metamorphosis. I don't want to plan based on all of the sources, but I want to plan my lesson based on my conversation because it is I that knows my class and know what I want to teach. The AI doesn't know my class, doesn't know the kind of students I have in my class. I do. So it is when I have when I have engaged with the AI, fine tuned my result, prompt it, had that back and forth with it, and I've gotten exactly what I want. Those are the things that I begin to create this end product with. That's the best thing. Another thing you can do, because I'm starting with what you can do with your entire source. So mind map, I would advise you to use mind map for your entire source and for some of the specific things that you have engaged the AI and gotten from it. The next thing you can use your on your entire source is you can select your entire source, and that's where we start. You can click on reports. Reports will give you some different, um, well-crafted options for you to create. So, for example, you can create a briefing document. A briefing document would summarize the entire um, source for you because I'm selecting all my sources now. It could be one or more of the sources. Study guide. You could create a study guide, blog post, comparative analysis report. So again, this is not tied to only schoolwork alone. Let's say you want to start a business and you have documents from different business or rival. You can bring them here and analyze them. Sorry, social psychological report, concept comparison guide, and biological process summary. So, for example, we're looking at metamorphosis. So, I'm going to do the biological process summary, a clear explanation of two. So, let me click on this. And the beauty of this is it gives you where you can describe exactly what you want. So, you can uh, prepare this. And you see, because it knows the source that I am working with, it already provided some uh, brief description, break down the distinct stages and disadvantages and advantage of complete and incomplete metamorphosis to help new learners. So if I generate this, you can generate in different languages. So I generate this. Uh, because I'm working on the studio, I'm creating resources that I want to use, final resources that I want to use in my class. So anything I generate using Studio comes under there. So it's generating that report. Let's look for another report that will be important for this class. I can say I want to create a study guide. So if you click on that again, it gives you you already notes your sources and it gives you this. You can always edit it. So I'm going to create this again. Uh, the more your source, the longer it takes. So you see 24 sources. look at one more example from the report. So if you want to create your own, you can click on create your own, and then you give it a the prompt of what you want it to do. All of these prompts, if you have an idea of what you want, you can always go to Gemini to create that prompt and then use it directly. But if you don't have an idea, if you have an idea, if you can write the prompt yourself, you type it in. If you don't, if you want to, if you have ideas and you want AI to help you craft it properly, you can put it into AI and it will just craft it for you. So you can tell Google Gemini, okay, I have this and this and this and this ideas. Kindly create a craft a prompt that can use a notebook LM to create a report and tell it the kind of reports you would like to create, a study guide, study plan, and all of that, and it will create that. Let's do one more. Let's do. Okay, we did biological process, and we did study guide. We can do something about blog post, but that's not interest. Let's compare concept comparison guide. Let's click on this. Create a document that helps students distinguish between biological stages of insect and development. We create that. So we look at reports. We've created three reports, and let's see how those report looks like. You can, for ease of recognition, you can rename these reports. So this is study guide, comprehensive study guide. So I am going to just rename it. Please note if you're not speaking, I'm getting a feedback. So I'm going to call this study guide. When you want to name, you just click on rename and you hit enter, and then it's going to save it. So that's comparative study guide. This one I'll call it magic of metamorphosis or something. Just give it a name that is easy for you to understand. Uh, let's call it. Let's just call this briefing doc. I'll just give it a name. Now we've done that. Okay, so let's now go back to our sources and begin to chat. A few things apart from this um, report, I want to also create a 3 weeks lesson plan about metamorphosis. Okay, let's look at this one. The briefing doc, you can see the briefing doc here that I called. You can also see the comprehensive study guide here, review quiz and answer and all of that. You can see that. So here is where you chat the same way you chat with ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and all other large language models that are out there. That's the same way you do with NotebookLM. But the beauty of it is that it does not go beyond or outside the sources that you have validated and verified. That's it. So there is no hallucination. There is no going to the web to search for additional information, except if you come here again and ask it to do another search. So here I can say that create a 3 week lesson plan on metamorphosis for for a grade 5 class. Uh, Separate the lesson plans by week into 3 sessions that are well scaffolded. All right, so I'm creating 3 lesson plans and then I hit enter. So you will create those lesson plans, lesson plan 1, 2, and 3. Now you will see I'm going to explain a few things in relation to how you create, especially if you want to create different things. It's better you create rather than say create a 3 week plan. You can say create lesson plan week 1, week 2, week 3 separately. Otherwise, this one is to create all of them in one document or in one go, and everything you have notebook LM creates, you can save it as notes, just like when ChatGPT generates something for you, you can copy it and put it in a document or download it. So I can save this as notes. But once I save anything as notes, it brings it here. But in this case, I'm saving 3 weeks instead of saving it one by one. I'm saving it as 3 weeks. So two ways you can do this. You can create the lesson plan one by one. Say create week one, create week two, create week three. Or if you create them all together and you are satisfied with this, you can copy them one by one and separate them. So I'm going to copy this one by one instead of doing it all together. I'm copying it one by one. Copy, and here you will see add notes. Click on this, and I'm adding this note. So I can call this week one magic. So I'm giving it a title so that I know that this is my week one. Uh, so this is, let's copy this. So that's my week one. Can go back to see week one, then I'll copy week two, add note, week two, week two, and then finally week three, add note. Please, can you mute? Somebody is talking in the background. Let me deal with that. Please, it's best if we mute if you need to talk. So I will again mute everybody. So I have gone from my unit one to two. I've done my lesson plan one, two, and three. Then I'm going to create lesson notes. So I will say create a lesson note for week one lesson plan. All right. I could do this, or another thing I could do since I want to just create a lesson note for lesson one or unit one. What you can do with all of your sources. So you've done your notes, all of your engagements with the chat, you've converted them into notes. Now you can convert these notes into your source so that anything you now want to create here, if you want to create a flashcard, a quiz based on all of your chats, um, you can convert. So let's start with unit one. So I will convert my unit one to a source and then further continue to create different things out of that source. So I have my lesson plan. I want to create a lesson note. I want to create a lab practical. I want to create a quiz. I want to create a flashcard. So what I will do is just start my lesson plan for week one. I will right click it or click on the three dots, sorry. And then I'll click on convert to source. So once I do that, it's going to convert it to a source for me. And you can see week one, the magic of metamorphosis. So what I will do is I will uncheck all the sources and then I'll click just my week one and then prompt it to create a detailed lesson plan, lesson notes. All right. I hit that. It's working just with this source, my lesson plan for week one. Then I'll say create a PowerPoint. I want to create a PowerPoint presentation style. Create a PowerPoint presentation based on this. You can always prompt more if you want to give it specifics. Well, all the prompt skills that you have that you normally use on any other platform, you can use it here too. So I'm creating a lesson note, which is this. And then I want to create another PowerPoint presentation. So I've created my lesson notes from week one. I will save it as notes. I'll go through that same process again, save it as note, and I would um, rename it so that it's quick, it's easier for me to do. So let's so I'll open it here and I can rename it week one lesson, week one lesson note. All right, so I've renamed it. So I have my week one lesson note. So PowerPoint presentation. While it's doing that, I can say create a classroom activity. I'll create a classroom activity. I can also say create a set of 10 quiz, multiple choice, multiple choice. All right, so I'm doing that. Then maybe one more thing is I can say um, make a list of the key concepts or key vocabulary and terms. So you can prompt it to do multiple things at the same time and it will keep generating them from time to time. So I have my detailed lesson plan, create a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, I'm creating this. Okay, I'm creating a slide deck that covers the requirements. So it's already creating the slide deck for me because I say create a PowerPoint presentation. Um, so you can prompt it to do that from here, or you can go here and create the slide. So I'll do the two ways. Now I have asked you to create PowerPoint presentation for lesson one, and it has finished creating the quiz. It's generating the slides as you can see. So that's one way you can create a slide directly from the chart. Say, okay, I'm creating a slide deck that covers the required material or complete metamorphosis for Greek 5 class. It will define the process using the Greek roots, explain the four stages and all of that. So it's creating that. That's taking this long. And I've asked it to create a classroom quiz also because quiz is also part of here. You will see that it's creating the quiz. Now it's asking you to help students prepare. I can create a set of flashcards. So all you just need to do here is say yes, and then uh, creating quiz question, creating class, and then generating both artifacts. Let me see. Uh, Okay, so it's generating a flashcard because it says I can help you create a flashcard. Then I say yes, or you can copy that same response and paste it and ask it to go ahead. So I have started creating both flashcard and the quiz for your grade 5. So you can do all of these little things directly from here. You can actually tell it to create an audio overview and it will do that. You can ask it to create a video overview and it will do that. You can ask it to create an infograph and it will do that directly from the chat. But that does not give you ability to to specify further what you want it to create with all of those features. So while this is working, let's look at the flashcards that we created. Okay, let's start from the quiz. So this is the first quiz it created, and this is a quiz within NotebookLM that the students can practice. At the end of the day, you are able also to share your notebook with your student. Remember, I started by saying you can integrate this into your classroom, and that is what we will end with that today. So, quiz, student can easily take the quiz, click on next. So, it created this quiz, um, and they can play around with it. Let's look at the flashcards. These are the flashcards. From which language are the root word of metamorphosis derived? If they click on this, they will see the answer Greek. Then go next. Uh, So these flashcards are good, especially if you are doing whatever it is within your class. You can create the, the vocabularies, create flashcards to help them remember steps, stages, or remember definition. Just something to practice with. Whatever you have in mind, you can use flashcard to help the student remember. Um, and then we also have another quiz. So all of these are final products that you can download and share with the students. So your flashcard, you can share them. You can also rename. Another thing you can do is you can look at the prompt that it used to create it. Maybe you are able to edit it. See, this is just a simple prompt, key vocabulary from week one and all of that. So these are things we've created just directly from the chat, allowing NotebookLM to do those creations for us. But let's say I want to be more specific. I want to customize what I want it to create. So I can go to flashcard. Now, I'm still picking remember from my lesson one. So what I want to do is I want to create a flashcard based on my lesson notes. Again, I will convert my lesson notes into a source. So it will put my week one lesson note as a source. Then I can uncheck and click the two lesson notes and lesson plan. Uh, what I want it to work with. Let's see if there are other things I've created. So these are like quiz. Apart from creating the quiz directly for me, I'm also it also gave me those quiz questions. So I can save it as notes and call it quiz for week one. All right. So I call this as you can double click it if the edit button is not or rename button is not there, and then you can change the heading. So I'll call this week one quiz. All right. And then hit enter. So I have week one lesson plan, week one lesson note, week one quiz, and also it has finished creating my PowerPoint presentation. What is it? Slide. What is the slide? It has created the slide. And all of these were done just by the chat without me having any input in the outcome. I would show you why it is good. You you let it, you are able to create it yourself from here because it gives you more options. So let's look at the slide. If you click on this, you can expand it, and then this is your slide ready to use. A slide on metamorphosis week one, and you can very stunning with graphics and diagram. Now, because it knows that I'm preparing it for a grade five, that is why it made it this stylish. You can always create yours and give it specific instruction. The beauty of this is you can directly download it as PDF or download it as PowerPoint. So when you download it as PowerPoint, you can go in and further do some editing. Um, I would advise you always check because there might be some typo error, and let's see if we can quickly pick up some. There might be some typo errors, and so it's good you check. You download it as PDF, as PowerPoint, and then you do some checks before you proceed. So we have all of that done automatically for us, the quiz, the all of that. Now, um, if I want to create this slide deck myself, so I'll click on week one and week two, lesson plan and lesson note. Then you uh, let's start with quiz. So I can convert this also as my week one quiz. Let's convert it to source. So I have everything that I have prompted and chatted with. I convert it as note. Then I move them to sources. Once I've moved them to sources, then I can begin to create these final products or final outputs that I want to use with my class, different outputs. So let's start with quiz. You want to do quiz, I can select either all or just a week one quiz and click on quiz. So here, you rather than it creating automatically for you, medium is always default. You want to create quiz based on the same quiz or resources or sources, but you have different level of students in your class. So you can do easy for low learner, medium, and hard. And this way, you are able to also differentiate and also provide multiple learning paths. So you start with the easy, then they go to medium, and then they go to hard. You can convert this once it creates this quiz for you. You can put it into Google Forms and allow students to select, okay, choose option easy, hard, and medium. They choose that and it directs them to hard question. Choose that and direct them to medium question. Or you can have everybody start with easy. After they've completed this, after they've gotten every question in easy, then they click next and go to medium. If they fail any question with some of the things we've learned on Google Form, you can redirect them to learn that concept and bring them back to answer that question. So those are some of the use cases. You're able to put specific information here that you want it to. So you want fewer questions, standard, or even if you want more questions. All right, so I'm going to do hard and then that. So we generate that quiz and it generates that quiz. Let's say I want to do a flashcard also. So I'll select all of the three and then I'll click on flashcard. Remember, we did flashcard based on what it has inside. Uh, based on chart and defaults. Again, flashcard, you can do fewer, more standard, easy, difficult, or hard. You can have different flashcards, different levels for different group of students within your class. You can prompt it and ask it to give specific things within here, and then you generate. So doing this yourself rather than having it do it by the reason of by just chatting it up gives you more feature, give you more control over the output. So slide deck is the same thing. So I would remember we had a chart where we said to create slide deck, it automatically created it. So, but I want to create a slide deck with my lesson plan and my lesson notes. So I click on slide deck. Um, they just announced that um, for not slide deck for infograph. Okay, we'll get to infograph. But for slide deck, you can now also say you want a comprehensive deck with full text and detail, perfect for email or reading on its own. So this one, student can read it on their own and learn. This one, if you want a slide that will accompany you as you present, so you could have a slide for yourself as a teacher with all your key points that guide you as you speak. And then you have another slide that is more detailed for the students to read on their own so that when you are teaching as a teacher, you don't want to keep reading all the points on your slide. You should have your own slide, and then the slide that the student would use as a learning aid. You can also have that. So you can create those slides, default, short or length, English or light. So you can add more detail to it. You can get an AI to prompt you. So I can say create a minimalistic image intensive. I'm just getting this out of my head. Slide deck that is also text rich. Don't make up any text. Use text in the sources verbatim. I want you to use exactly the text in the sources, not to make up any text and all of that. You can say the slide should be let's say in kawaii or let's say anime slash manga style. All right, so you're also telling me the style you want it to use. Uh, I'll talk about style in a while. So you create this and then it's going to start generating. Now, the next thing you can also do is infographics allows you to present a visual summary, graphic design, visual summary for that lesson. So I'll click on infograph. Again, I want it to be portrait standard. You want it to be detailed or standard English. So let's call it detailed. Now, they have created, they are yet to release, but they have talked about releasing about 10 visual style prompts for infograph. Let me explain what that means. So if you go to video overview, for example, you click on video overview, you will see visual style, anime, watercolor, retro, heritage. We'll look at this. So they are doing the same thing for infographics. And I think they're also doing the same thing for slide deck so that it gives it that feel. So for infograph, they have a lot of, they have about 10 different styles. So I've prepared a prompt for those styles. I can share it with you pending when it comes up. Let me see if I can bring it up. Mm, Let me see if I can bring that up. I'll post this maybe as a comment within the YouTube video. I can share. Yeah. So there are 10. I've used AI to create different short prompt description. These are all the professional style, professional bento grip, editorial, sketch and handwriting, whiteboard, and all of that. So I just prepared some prompts to help create exactly those. So we'll practice with two so that you can see how those prompts makes different kind of flashcards. Let's go to uh, mm. All right. So let's look at the infographic. So I'm going to copy. Let's look at the uh, handwritten sketch. I'm just going to copy this. You can always prompt this yourself. I'll copy this and paste, then generate. So we see the difference. For infographics, you can generate only three. After like three, it will tell you you can no longer. The slide deck too, you have the opportunity to generate three. I don't know how many flashcards, but I'm sure of these two. Three. So let's just do one more. So hand sketch. Let's do the anime. Uh, and then you can also just prompt it you want superhero uh, themed flashcard. So let's copy this. This is Bento. Then the last one I'll freestyle and ask it to create uh, small manga themed. Okay, okay. And let's see how that goes. All right, so if you try to do more, it probably will tell you you cannot. Let me see. Let me try one more. Generate. It's still able to. So I have four generating. That might take a longer time, but let's keep watching. So this the flashcard you can edit and provide different concepts that you want. We've looked at all of this, so let's wait for them to come up. Then another thing you can do is audio overview. With the audio overview, it converts. Remember, all of these resources are just from my lesson one. Just from my lesson one. And that's the beauty of this, that you can, after you've converted all, you've engaged it to generate all your outputs, convert them to notes, convert those notes to sources, and then begin to produce different type of resources based on your specific outputs. So let's look at audio overview for my lesson one. And so I'm selecting everything, every source that I have created for my lesson one. You have briefing. It can brief a bit-sized overview to help you grasp the core ideas from your sources, or you can do a lively discussion, or you can actually do a debate. You will put two AI and they'll be debating from two opposing points of view on that lesson plan. Whichever one is useful to you or for your class, depending on your use cases. So let's say I click on um, deep dive. Uh, Depending also on the license you have, it will do some AI suggestions here. If you look at, if you watch the Learn One Thing Per Day session on audio overview, I was using my other account that has an advanced payment plan. So it will suggest some output for me here that I can just click on based on my sources. So here you can provide specific conversation. So I'll generate two so that we can see. So I'm generating this deep dive, and then it's going to create it. While it's creating that, let's create another one. I want the debate or the brief. So it gives you the brief or the critique. Uh, or let's just do the debate. We generate, provide, let me do short so that it doesn't go too long because of time. You can provide the what the host should focus on in your debate, or you can actually formulate the debate topic. Uh, Debate to perspective. One, complete, complete, okay, uh, complete and incomplete. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm generating that. So generating the two audio overviews. Now, also, let's look at the final thing, video overview. The same thing. That you want an explainer, a structured, comprehensive overview that connects the dots with your sources or a brief. So because I'm going to give this to students, I'll choose explainer. You can either choose auto select, you can customize your own or use NotebookLM. But I am going to look for, let's look at, they are grade 5. So I'll do anime. Again, you can give it all the details you want from the generate. Now, this will produce faster if you have limited sources or few number of sources like I have just done. That's why I keep saying that it's best you don't apply all of this to all your sources, especially if what you are focused on is outputs of things that you can use within your classes. All right, let's look at some of the things we've created in terms of, we created flashcards. I think that's easier. We've seen, so you can display this on the board. You can restart. You can shuffle so that different questions comes up. What is the primary job of a lava? Student can raise their hands and then they show. So this could be used within the class or outside the class. So that's a flashcard. Let's see. Let's see the infograph that we created. So this is the infograph that lists the stages, 1, 2, 3. So this is like a visual cue to easily just summarize um, the entire process, the magic of complete metamorphosis. So that's the, let's look for another one. Okay, look at, this is squeeze, this is flashcard, 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 this is graphics, no, 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 flashcard. And let's look at another. This is this is the presentation it did by default. Then I asked it to create one using X-Men themed. Uh, you can see, so this is X-Men. It's superhero. That's what it did with this. So you can tell it whatever it is that you want, and it will present it in that way for you. Egg. So superhero theme is what you're seeing here. And again, you can download it as PowerPoint presentation. So let's do that download and see if there are things we can edit. But if you can't edit it, you can download it as PDF, put it into Canva, and use some Canva feature like grab text and grab image to edit, and you'll be able to edit that. So I'll download it as PDF, and then maybe if we have time, I can take it into Canva to just show you some of the things you can do in Canva if PowerPoint presentation doesn't allow you. So I'm downloading it as PowerPoint and I'm downloading it as stuff. Remember, you can also still revise it. So maybe you're not satisfied, you can click on that and see. You can revise per slide and tell it what you want it to do on each of the slide. So See, center the image on the page and make it shorter. So again, you are able to on a per slide basis edit the image and tell you what to do. If there is an error in the spelling, you can ask it to correct it. But if you don't want to do that and you want to put it on Canva, you can straight ahead put it on Canva. So generating video, generating audio. Let's wait for that to play out. I think the last thing here is data table. You don't necessarily need that. Create a table with major findings. So this will be that maybe you have a data, you collected data, you did a survey, you collected data. Then you can put this spreadsheet in and ask it to help with the analysis. Create a table with major finding in this research paper, or extract the most important quotes from my reading group by topic. So it will create tables based on whatever it is that you have in your sources. So let's select, let's see if we can just do this for all of the sources. And now say create a table with major findings. List location, extract the most important code. Okay, create a table of all terms, um, terms and processing. I'm just making this up. Definition. All right, so that's what I want to do. All right, so one of the audios is done, but let's look at how we can edit the PowerPoint while we do this, and then we'll round up with that. So I have this PowerPoint. Let me pull it up. So if I go to my download, I see the PDF. Of course, PDF, you can't edit PDF directly. It's not very easy. You will need some paid licenses to be able to do that. But let's open the PowerPoint and see if we're able to edit some specific details on the PowerPoint. So this is the PDF. Can go from page to page. Let's see if the PowerPoint is still opening. So while that is happening, let me pull up Canva. This is the PowerPoint is still trying to open. All right, so the PowerPoint has opened. Let's see what we can edit in the PowerPoint. So it just puts it all as images. You cannot edit. So it just puts everything all as images. You are not able to edit. But this is where the beauty of Canva comes in. Let me pull up Canva while the other things we're working on generates. All right, so I want to pull up my Canva account. All right, so to bring in PDF, you can edit PDF. To bring in PDF into Canva, what you need to do is you click on Create. Then once you click on Create, you will see Upload. That's where that comes. So you click on Upload, and you can drag and drop folders and files. So I'll go and click on Upload Files. Let's navigate to where the file is. Now download, and it's this Ultimate Metamorphosis. So I click on that. Immediately it will load it as a project. Now, because this one is very graphic intensive, it is um, what we saw. It is what's it called? It's an animated series, so we might not be able to edit all of the images, but let's see what we can do with that. Some other ones you are able to do much more. Let me see if we have another. Okay, let's look at this one. Let me download this and see the difference in what we can do with both of them. I'm downloading that. All right. So this is it. What are the things you can do? You can click on edit because you're editing image, and then you can come here. I'm not sure. I don't know if you need paid version for all of this, but you can now come here and see uh, text grab. Let's say there's an error in this text. I'll click on text grab, and then I'll say all text. Or if I want all text, I'll grab all text. So it will convert it into different elements for me. It's converting it. Then I can go into the text and then edit. See, I can now edit. This is not true. Okay, so I'm able to edit exactly that text. So if there's any error, I can do that. See, here also I can edit it. If the text, the font type is not available, it will convert it to the closest font type. Are you still able to see my screen? Oh, good. I think, yeah. Can you still see my screen? Oh, nobody's here. Hello?
No, yes, we can see it now.
Oh, for how long have you not been able to see it?
From the time you imported the PDF,
Oh, okay,
Canva.
let me go back. Sorry, all right. So as the Canva is imported. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't know that now. Your microphones are enabled. You can unmute anytime you want. All right. So once you import, let me go again with the import because we just downloaded another one. You click on create. You click on upload. You look for your file. This is the one that I just downloaded, and you import it. Immediately you put it as a project. So let's open the project one by one and see what we can do with that. So when you have your image, and let's say there's an error here, or you want to change this text, you want to remove this grid file, for example, you click on it and then you click on edit. Edit. Then once you edit, image edit, you see under Magic Studio, you'll see text grab or uh, magic grab. Magic grab allows you to move the image. Text grab allows you to edit the text. So let's click on text grab. It will ask you, is it some text that you have to click or you want all? So I'm going to click on all, grab all the text. So to grab all the text in that image. And this is also how you can remove the watermark, the Notebook LM watermark. There's always a watermark. So you can remove the watermark uh, completely. This is how you can do that. So you are able to remove the text or just type something in the text. I don't like this ghost file. I want to remove it. I can easily just remove the ghost file. So you are able to edit things as you wish by just clicking on grab text and all of that. So you'll be able to do that. Let's look at the image. What can you do with the image? I click on this and then I'm going to grab magic grab. I want to is what I click that I want to be able to grab. So if I click this and then I click on grab, let's see what happens. I don't like where this boy is, so to speak. So you see, I can move it around as I want. So that's the beauty of the grab. I can move it around as I want. So I've got the image. So I can move the image around. Canva gives you that possibility to do stuff like that from your notebook island. Um, Again, this process is you click on this, you click on edit image, and then you grab. You can also erase. If I want to erase the watermark, It's whatever I click that I want to erase. Let's see. If it allow me to do that. So I click on this. I want to erase the notebook element. So I'll erase. You see, I click on notebook element and it's going to erase it completely from. So notebook element is no longer there. So that's how you can remove watermark from stuff that you export out into Canva. All right, let's go back to our stuff. So the audio review is still coming up. And let's see what is this. This is the table. We ask it biological and literal terms. What are the things we asked it to do? Show prompt. I said the prompt was create a table of all the items and processes and their definition. So you can see it gives me a table of a lava, and then it talks about the process and the definition and all of that. So this is one of the things you can use in terms of table. Now let's look at the audio overview. If you click on it, you are able to play it directly. You are also able to um, download it. Let me let me reshare my screen so that I'm sure that the audio comes out with it. Uh, audio, because I want you to be able to hear, and I will want you to just speak up if you can hear. So this is an audio overview. Remember, we did two. One is a debate, and the other one is deep dive. So this that I'm playing is the debate, and you will see how
Dominant
it's
that, well,
structured.
88% of all insect species rely on it. We're talking about holometabolism.
Right? Complete metamorphosis.
Exactly. From beetles to butterflies.
Let me
This isn't
jump.
about the life cycle. You
Magical change.
a total somatic restructuring. I argue it is the most successful evolutionary masterpiece of efficiency and resource management ever devised.
See, you look at those numbers and see a masterpiece.
So you can see that it's presenting it as a debate. Remember, the prompt was to get them to debate in two perspectives: complete and incomplete metamorphosis. You can set what the debate will be about, and then students can also listen to it. You can download it and put it into your class. This is exactly what the when I showed off a new feature in Google Classroom that says audio overview, audio lesson. That's exactly what it will do in terms of your audio lesson. So maybe we'll just we'll look at that now. For the deep dive provides you with, you can also download that. Uh, deep dive provides you with two people having a discussion, but you can also come in and interject into that discussion. So it's more like a live discussion with you, and that's why you see this interactive mode action there. So let's say we want to do this now. I click on play. Um, so it begins to play. If I click on the interactive mode, it brings it here. And so I can, when they start talking, I can raise my hands and join the conversation. So let me start by asking them that I want them to just start defining the key terms in metamorphosis. Uh, Yeah, I would like you to start the discussion first with giving some explanation or definition to key terms within metamorphosis. Oh, I think it's very shared again.
Let's clean. That is actually a really interesting interjection right there.
Oh, absolutely. It ties right into where we're going.
Because what you just said, let's clean,
So
actually
I have
huge
interjected,
point
and
resources.
it's
If
talking
we look
about
at the
exactly
Kafka
what I
story,
interjected.
the metamorphosis cleaning becomes central.
Yeah, that story all about the horror of change, right?
If I
Right.
want
The
to
main
further
character,
interject, I
Gregor,
can still click
transforms
on
into
this, and then they will
Back to our
say,
listener. What's up?
yeah, yeah, I need you to define specific terms first before we go into the conversation.
You got it. That is a great request. We love when you do that.
That is absolutely essential, especially in science. We don't want to get lost in jargon.
But unpack this and find the key terms we're using today about.
So that's the interactive mode, the fact that you or your students can engage and be part of that conversation. Um, so those are two modes. Let's look at the video overview. I think it's complete. The video overview, again, you can look at the prompt. Oh, I don't think so. So this will create a video. It's more like I think my screen sharing. Okay, I'm still screen sharing. It's more like a PowerPoint presentation that has been changed into a video with an AI voiceover. So let's play this and see how it looks. Again, and you can also download, and then you can let's play it and see how it. I hope you can hear.
Today, we are diving into one of nature's most incredible stories. It's a tale of total transformation, a biological reinvention so extreme it almost feels like science fiction. We are talking about complete metamorphosis. I mean, seriously, think about it. If you woke up tomorrow with a totally different body, wings, 6 legs, the whole deal, your life would be unrecognizable, right? Your job, where you live, what you
So remember, I asked you to use the anime version. That's what you see there. Uh, you can download this and put it, share it with your student, and give it maybe in your Google Classroom or just let them watch it in school. You can download this and put it on YouTube for your class and share it with your class. There are a lot of use cases on how you can leverage on this. Let's look at the different. Okay, it only created one graphic, and that is in the X-Men star. I thought, okay, no, this is one other star. But you can always, I told you I'm going to share this with us. I use it to create the different kind of um, infograph that you want. In rounding up the session, before I open it up for a few questions, I want to show you how this can be integrated into your Google Classroom. Say you created, first let's start with how do you share this? So I can share this, the entire notebook with my student. There are two options. I can share it with them to only chat only. So all they can do, let's say I've prepared all the sources and I want them to only chat. So they're able to just preview the chat that I have granted them access to. Or I want them to have access to the full notebook and I can give them in the welcome note. So let's share this with myself as the sharing it with myself, notify. I'm giving it a view only. If I want to collaborate with a teacher, then I can give the teacher an edit. But if a student, I want them to view. So view means they can view everything I've done. They can listen to the chats and listen to the audios and everything. I send this. Let's see. Notebook shared successfully. Let's go to that. This is my account. I should get an email telling me that Notebook LM has been shared with me. See, Notebook has been shared with me. If I click on it, I can click directly at Metamorphosis. But first, let me open my notebook and see if it will be there directly. You will see shared with me. These are all my notebooks. You will see share with me. Click on share with me. I can see, okay, this is the one that I shared with somebody. Now let's go back to notes and then I click on metamorphosis and immediately it opens. I can chat with it. and ask him what question and all of that. And then I can also watch everything that my teacher has prepared for me within NotebookLM. I can actually also do the interactive mode, have my own engagement with the, yeah. Oh, you're not seeing it. Sorry, I had this experience today. I don't know. I think my computer is having an issue. Let me go back. So I shared it with with an account, and I got an email, and then I would put this, close this again. All right, so and then I'll close. So in the email, I shared it with an account. I got an email, and you click on metamorphosis, it opens. So you see that you cannot create anything because I gave the students a view right. If I give an edit right, it's most likely supposed to be to a teacher because we're collaborating together. And then we can create stuff and both of us can see. But if I'm using this for my student, I have created all of our class materials. I've put them inside NotebookLM, and I have created some specific product that I want them, artifacts or output that I want them to interact with, video, audio, PowerPoint, graphic, all of that, quiz and all of that. I want them to interact with it. And I also want them to chat, so they can chat with the content as much as they want. This is a safe way to use AI with students rather than allowing them to go run amok on Google, on maybe ChatGPT and all of that. This is putting it within the classroom, and the teacher controls what they are able to do. So the student can also, everything the teacher has
I
done,
want you to try a little.
the students are able to um, engage. They are able to also interject
I want
with
you
the
to try a
audio
little thought
review.
experiment with me.
They can see all your slides, see your graphics, and every material you prepare for them. They are able to work with those. And so that's how you share it with students. Now let's look at how you bring that into your classroom, and then we can round up with that. That account I have. Okay, let's see if I can create a Google Classroom for this student. I'll create a Google Classroom right now for this student, and then we'll see how NotebookLM can be used. So let's just say mentoring. Then I'll fill all of those details. So this is a Google Classroom, and as part of the material, I want to create a course material. You see, immediately you can add a NotebookLM or add a gem as part of your material. Gem will be another topic. It's on Gemini. You click on Add NotebookLM if you want to start from that. Then it's asked you where is the NotebookLM. Do you want to create a new NotebookLM or you want to create or you want to add an existing? So I'll select Add an existing, and you can see it says Metamorphosis, my notebook. And then I can or I can also copy and paste the URL so I can attach. Here I give them automatically to give them view rights. And let's see if we are able to edit the rights. So I'm adding NotebookLM to that class. So this is the NotebookLM highlight at the top of the class. So I can say class material. All right. The material. All right, so I assign it to all students. I can create a topic and say this is class. And then I post it. Once I post, let's see. What I'll do is I'll add one student to this class. There are no students in the class, but let's see how it looks like. So you see, oh, that's cool. I don't know why this is happening today. Sorry, so sorry about that. I've created the class. I've added the NotebookLM as a class material. Class learning tool, NotebookLM, and I've done that. So the students there are no students in this class, but let me add one student so that you can see it from the student perspective. So I will add myself as a student. Screen is failing to share. I'm inviting student one. Let's go and accept the invite. I will see an email comes in. I've been invited to join NotebookLM classroom. Let's see if I can find that class. All right, so I've been invited to join the mentoring class. Click on join. So let's see what I would see as a student. So this is the NotebookLM. If I go into classwork, I will see learning material. I'll see NotebookLM has been added, and I can open it directly. So let's go to, and I also ask you to post it at the top of the announcement board. Then I can open it. So let's see what I will see. You see, as a student, I do not see anything here, and it's under shared. If I go back to my own NotebookLM and click on share with me, I can see the metamorphosis has been shared with me. And so as a student, I will be able to interact. This, again, if your student have Gmail accounts, they can access they can access NotebookLM directly. If they don't, and you have a school that is tied to Google, all your students automatically have those accounts and they are able to use it. So that's the summary about NotebookLM. As more features come up, we might not have to do an entire class again, but on the YouTube channel, you would always find whenever there's a new feature, I would do a video and add it into the NotebookLM playlist. I think that's where we will stop today. Thank you for joining the class. I'll just open it up for questions if you have any question, and then we can proceed. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask a question. I'll spend like 1 hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the class. Any question? All right then. I want to just bring up the playlist again. So you have the Learn One Thing Per Day playlist. I will change this to NotebookLM. The path under NotebookLM. So if there are any new features, I would be adding it short videos. The video for this, we can stop sharing again. The video for this session will be available on YouTube, and it will be also under the playlist. It will be under the playlist called mentoring class. There are a couple of stop sharing again. I think there's a problem with my computer now. So there's a playlist called mentoring session. All of our former mentoring session you find in there. So this one also will be there. So this is classroom efficiency, NotebookLM integration, part 1 or part 2. We've also done another Google Gemini and NotebookLM before. You can watch that. That was 4 months ago. All right. I think we just round it up here. Thank you all for joining. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
Good night, sir.
All right. Good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.